is Zoe, and in today's video we're going to be learning a very important transition step called a cross turn. So in belly dance, a lot of the time we do things on one diagonal or on one side. We do a lot of movements, for example, a hip drop. You might be on one side. And to make things a little more interesting, we can change to the other side and do more movements. So a very simple transition from one side to the other is what I just did, which is a step. But the cross turn is a little more of a fun transition to throw in there to spice things up. So today we're going to be learning how to do that. So let's get started. So you can be on a diagonal, pick whatever diagonal you want. I'm just going to show you the position here. So you have one leg kind of in front of the other leg. My weight is on my back foot. My front foot has no weight, just my toes are very lightly touching the floor. And like the name, cross turn, I'm going to cross my front foot back, and I really want to squeeze my legs together here so the legs are very close. I'm lifting up my skirt so you can see what my feet are doing, and I'm going to start turning myself around. As I do that, my weight is going to come on to that foot that used to be in front, the foot that crossed, and it's going to come off the other foot. So I just have my toes of that foot on the ground as I turn myself around, and then I come right back and I'm in the position on the other side. So again, my weight is on my back foot. Front foot has no weight, just the toes are touching the ground. With that front foot, I cross back. So the front foot is now going to be the back foot. Squeezing the legs together, I'm already starting to lift the other heel of my new front foot. I'm lifting this heel off the ground as I turn myself around to come to the new position. Again, crossing, switching my weight, and turning. Cross and turn. So you're turning on this move, tends to move you a bit to the back when you do it, so you need to come forwards. When I'm putting my weight onto this new back foot and I'm turning on it, I mostly have the weight on the heel and the ball of the foot, but the toes are not really on the floor. They're just slightly off the floor. That's going to help me turn. If my toes are on the floor of this back foot, then that foot is going to kind of dig into the floor and make things very hard to slide. So the toes of the back foot don't really touch the floor, although they're not, lifted way up in the air or anything. So I know that's a lot to think about, but basically just change your weight from front to back and turn yourself around. Cross and turn, cross and turn. Now, if you get dizzy when you practice this, you need to make sure that you are spotting. So spotting is a technique that is used in pretty much any dance style, probably also, ice skating, anything where you turn. Spotting is something you do with your eyes, with your focus, that's going to really help you not get dizzy and be able to turn a lot and in the same place without, ending up in some other part of the room or facing some weird direction. So what spotting is, I'll just give you a very quick demonstration, is that as I turn, I'm going to be picking a spot, looking right at that spot, and then whipping my head around to continue looking at that spot as I turn. So again, picking a spot, you want it to be pretty much at eye level. You don't want it to be way up high or down low, or you're going to turn to wherever you're looking. Basically, we go where we look. So pick a spot that's directly in front of you. If you have, I don't know, a painting on the wall or something that you can really easily look at, that's great. Otherwise, if you have a mirror, you can focus on your eyes. That's also good. And you look at that spot as you turn, and then whip your head around to keep looking at it. Another way to practice the spotting without having to do the footwork of the cross turn is to just shuffle yourself around and keep looking at the spot as long as you possibly can. And then at the moment when your neck would, twist off, if you tried to keep looking at the spot, that's when you quickly whip your head around. It has to be quick. Yeah, you don't want to end up staring at the back wall, at whatever's behind you, because that's what's gonna make you become dizzy, lose your balance, lose your sense of direction. You really wanna keep that spot, which is why it's spotting. So you can practice that. Both sides, of course. Often it's easier to turn on one side than the other. So practice that with the little shuffle step, I think, is a good way to just get used to spotting. It definitely takes some time and practice. And then you can try to incorporate that with the cross turn. So again, crossing and spotting to come around. Crossing and spotting. Let's try that again with the spot. Cross, spot, cross, spot, cross, spot, cross, spot. So let's look at arms for this movement. Of course, you could just have your arms down by your hips as you do this. That actually looks very nice. That's good. You could even have your arms above your head. That's a little trickier, but it still works. But the pattern I'm going to be showing you is slightly more complicated than just leaving your hands down or up. So the most common arm positions that you see on these diagonal positions are usually your back arm is up and your front arm is either going to be out to the side or even a little bit back so that you're opening, or down by your hip, which can also help accentuate whatever hip movements you're doing. And then of course, if we go to the other side, we need to change our arms, because if we leave them, now we're blocking our face, right, with this front arm. So we're going to want to change our arms to the new position. So either, again, front arm is either out or down, and back arm is up. So to change the arms, this works for either out or up. I like to simply pass them through first position. So first position means your arms are rounded in front of your body, like this. And it's a great transition position between, having up or out or down. You can always come to this position. So let's say we have one arm out and one arm up. We're going to bring the arms in together and then simply switch. In and switch, in and switch. Just doing it in place, changing diagonals without doing the cross turn yet. In, switch, in, and switch. And of course, we can do exactly the same thing with the front hand down. So one arm up, one arm down, in and switch, in, switch, in, switch, in, switch, in, switch. And what I like about using this transition for the cross turn is that when you turn, it can help to have your hands and arms be a bit closer to your body. That will help keep you kind of in line and not throw you off balance. So trying that with the cross turn from whichever diagonal you want, cross as you turn, that's when your arms come in. And then as we come around to the other side, our arms open out to the new position. So cross and turn, cross and turn, cross and turn, cross and turn, cross, turn. We can do switch to having one hand down, doesn't matter. Turn, cross, and turn. So let's try this with some music, but to make it a little more fun than just doing cross, turn all over all the time. What we're going to do is you can do whatever hip move you want. You can simply do hip drops if you like, just bending and straightening the knee to drop your hip. You can do hip circles. You can do hip eights. So whatever you want, we are going to do that for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. And then on the 4th one, we'll turn and do the other side. And again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3. Remember the spot. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that was the cross turn, a fun transition move, and I think the first turn that we've looked at. And we will look at more turns because turns are very important in belly dance and really make the dance more exciting. So do practice that. I really hope that you enjoyed this and that it was helpful for you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and happy practicing.